It was a cold Saturday night in Islamabad. Adil, a young man from a small village near Rawalakot, had finished his work and was ready to drive home. He looked at the clock, 10 p.m. It was late, but he told himself he'd reach home by midnight. Before leaving, he called his mother. She begged him not to travel this late, warning that strange things happen on those mountain roads after midnight: shadows, spirits, and shapeshifters that take human form. Adil laughed it off, assuring her he'd be fine. He hung up, started the engine, and disappeared into the night. The city lights faded behind him as the winding mountain road grew darker and quieter. The moon hung low, cold and pale. For the first hour, everything was normal. An old qawwali played softly on the radio. But soon a thick fog rolled in, swallowing the road ahead. The radio crackled, then died. As he adjusted the dial, his mother's warning echoed in his mind. After midnight, they take human form. He shook his head and kept driving until he saw her. A girl in white stood in the middle of the road, waving desperately for him to stop. He hit the brakes, the tires screeching. She looked terrified, shivering in the cold. "Are you okay?" he asked. "My brother had an accident. He's in the Rawalakot hospital," she said softly. "Please, I need to reach him." Her eyes were strange, too dark, too hollow, but he couldn't leave her there alone. He unlocked the door, and she quietly sat beside him. They drove in silence. When he asked about her brother's accident, she said a truck hit his bike. Adil noticed she carried no bag, no phone, nothing. "Do you want to call your family?" he offered. "I don't use phones," she replied coldly. "Everyone uses phones these days," he joked. But her tone suddenly changed. "I said I don't use one." The car fell silent. Her sudden anger sent a chill through him. He kept glancing at her feet, and in the faint dashboard light they looked wrong. The shape, the angle. He blinked hard, thinking it was just his imagination. His mother's voice echoed again. "They take human form, but their feet are reversed." The radio flickered for a second, filling the car with static and faint whispers before dying completely. The fog outside thickened, and the girl sat motionless, staring straight ahead without blinking, no breath visible in the freezing air. Suddenly she spoke. "Stop the car. I'll get off here." Adil frowned, "But the hospital's still far." She turned sharply, her voice deep and distorted. "I said, stop the car." Terrified, he slammed the brakes near a deserted petrol pump. She opened the door slowly, and that's when he saw them. Her feet were facing backward. His blood ran cold. Then she turned her head completely around, smiled a lifeless smile, and vanished into the fog. No footsteps, no sound, just silence. Panicking, Adil floored the accelerator, heart racing, eyes fixed on the road, too scared to look in the rearview mirror, afraid she might be sitting behind him. He didn't stop until he reached home, pale and trembling. His mother opened the door, her eyes filled with worry. "Ummi," he gasped, "there was a girl on the road. I picked her up. She disappeared." She held his hand gently. "I warned you, my son. These mountains keep old spirits awake. Never travel alone at night." That night, Adil learned a truth many ignore. Not every voice calling for help comes from the living. Sometimes the dead still walk these roads, waiting for someone foolish enough to stop. Moral: never ignore the voice of caution. Some warnings are not superstition. They're survival.